What's up, guys? Steve here with your $2,000 stimulus check and stimulus package update. And we've got a lot to get caught up on, as last night I let you guys know about the breaking news as it unfolded that President Donald Trump doubled down on Twitter last night his stance on the $2,000 stimulus checks and let us know, clarification, $2,000 for dependents. So a family of four would get an $8,000 stimulus check. And I let you guys know when it broke last night that this morning we'd probably see a lot of news rolling out. And guess what? We are seeing members of Congress and governors all give their responses this morning. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some video footage of those responses. We're going to be diving into a couple articles as well on those responses. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my personal opinion, disclaimer, my personal opinion, because I've probably gone through about 12 different articles this morning, and in my opinion, none of which are really addressing what the president is trying to accomplish. And it seemed pretty apparent, in my opinion, last night from Twitter. So, in my opinion, he is trying to stick it to somebody, but the good news is that the stimulus package is tied to the government spending bill. But at the same time, the bad news is that the government spending bill is tied to the stimulus package. So I'm going to get you guys caught up on all the details as to what's unfolding this morning, along with my opinion at the end. So let's go ahead and dive right in. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, if you like and appreciate these video updates, be sure to smash the like button. It'll just take a second. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Like button, leaving comments, and sharing these videos out to anybody who you think might need to see them. It helps out the channel. Thank you so much. And also, if you're not already a part of the viewing community and you would like to stay up to date on everything rolling out right now, be sure to smash the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. So that way, as soon as I upload these videos, you can be notified right away. And if you don't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at SteveRam3. Well, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into the latest with the $2,000 stimulus checks that are currently being pushed by President Donald Trump. All right, so first up, as I mentioned, this morning we've been seeing responses from governors and Congress about this $2,000 stimulus check push from President Donald Trump. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video footage, and then we're going to dive into a couple articles.
Do you worry we're heading for a government shutdown, sir?
I really don't know. I think the president has not actually explicitly said he's going to veto this bill. I take that as a hopeful sign.
What the president is doing right now is unbelievably cruel. Many millions of people are losing their extended unemployment benefits. They're going to be evicted from their apartments because the eviction moratorium is ending. And this president is diddling around, and he may actually veto it.
For 8 months, we've been trying to get a stimulus package through. Some really bipartisan folks on both sides of the aisle brought everybody to the table. They reached an agreement. Secretary Mnuchin worked together with them and made commitments on behalf of the administration. But after it was passed, then the president raises these objections.
None of us totally like the bill, but we passed it because this was the agreed upon number. It's what the president negotiated. And then for him to come out and say, now I'm going to veto it for the $2,000 checks, fine. If you want to make it $2,000 checks, negotiate that from the beginning. But to play this old switcheroo game, which is just kind of like, I don't get the point. I don't understand what's being done.
He's posturing to make himself, to bring himself back as the hero of the American people, asking for $2,000.
Sign this and then make the case for subsequent legislation.
Sign the bill. Get some relief to people. We have hundreds of thousands of people in my state who are at risk of losing their benefits today.
Let's sign this bill now so we can start getting our unemployment benefits out right away and then quickly pass another bill.
Sign the bill, Mr. President, and then immediately, Monday, Tuesday, we can pass a $2,000 direct payment for the working families of this country.
And if he really believes that we should get up to $2,000, which I have firmly believed for a long time, he should get back to Washington, D.C. and get that piece done as well.
I agree with the $2,000. It needs to at least be $2,000. So he needs to talk to his Republican buddies and say, give the people the money. Come on, Mitch, where is the money? Do that now. But instead, he's too busy worried about making sure that his friends get off. We should be looking at cutting that Pentagon budget by 10% like it has been proposed to make sure that our veterans get the resources and our communities get the resources they need. That's what he should be doing right now. Not worried about Twitter.
Well, there you guys have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We heard from Congress and governors, and they are not happy. They're blaming the president for holding up stimulus and government spending, and also they are urging him just sign the bill. And we heard Bernie Sanders and we saw Kinzinger say, you know what? If you want larger checks, that's fine. Just sign this bill and then maybe we'll pass $2,000 stimulus checks after. Now, I got to ask, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As much trouble as we are having right now with getting a stimulus package and just $600 checks, do you actually believe if he signs this bill that afterward Congress is going to just say, okay, let's do $2,000 checks in addition to that as well? Now, another thing I noted too was Representative-elect Cori Bush at the end. She said, let Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell know that we need to get this money out. And I think right there, she kind of touched on something that President Donald Trump is trying to accomplish, but she didn't really quite dive in. So those were some of the responses, though, that we saw from members of Congress and from governors. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of these articles that have been coming out this morning. All right, so first, let's go ahead and dive into an article from Politico. Link in the description below to this article that just came out that reads, Members of Congress to Trump, sign the bill. And it says, a bipartisan group of lawmakers on Sunday today urged President Donald Trump to sign the bill funding the government and providing economic relief to a nation still reeling from a deadly pandemic. After months of inaction, Congress last week passed a $900 billion relief package and a $1.4 trillion spending bill to fund the government through September. The stimulus package includes $600 direct payments to individuals and families, enhanced unemployment benefits, small business aid, and funding for distribution of the pandemic vaccine. The fate of the bill, however, is up in the air after Trump trashed the legislation and called for $2,000 stimulus checks. Unemployment benefits for millions of Americans expired Saturday, and the federal government is poised to shut down Monday, tomorrow, unless Trump signs the bill. Should the president veto the bill, the House and the Senate, which both passed the legislation with overwhelming margins, could override the veto. You don't get everything you want, even if you're the President of the United States, said Senator Pat Toomey to Fox News Sunday. Toomey, who isn't seeking re-election in 2022, said Trump should sign the legislation and then make his case to Congress for larger stimulus checks. I understand he wants to be remembered for advocating big checks, but the danger is he'll be remembered for chaos, misery, and erratic behavior if he allows this to expire, Toomey warned. Senator Bernie Sanders called Trump's inaction unbelievably cruel, noting the lapsed unemployment benefits and expiring eviction moratorium. Sign the bill, Mr. President, and then immediately, Monday, Tuesday, we can pass a $2,000 direct payment to the working families of this country, Sanders said. If Trump fails to sign the bill today, Sanders predicts suffering of this country will be immense. Now, this next portion, I want you to note this. This is very important in my opinion. This is going to be the stance of Republicans in the Senate. Even with the president backing their proposal, it's unclear $2,000 stimulus checks could pass the Republican-led Senate. Toomey indicated most Republicans won't support the measure because it's terribly untargeted. Why would we be sending $2,000 to people with six-figure incomes who have had no suspension, no reduction of their income at all? This money isn't sitting on a shelf. We're going to print it, we're going to borrow it, and I think that the aid should be much, much more targeted. It should be targeted to people who have actually lost their jobs, small businesses that are actually in danger of going under. Those are the real categories. The numbers are significant. Now, I think that last part was a very important part. I'm going to be diving into that in a little more detail at the end with my opinion. But now we're going to take a look at an article from The Hill that's going to be discussing the process of the stimulus package. And here is where the president has them even worse than I initially realized, because essentially this is a passed bill, right? Passed the House, passed the Senate. Now it's gone on to the president for his signature to sign it into a law. Now, he has one of two choices. He can either sign it into law and it passes, or he can veto the bill and then it goes back to Congress, where a 2/3 majority vote could overrule the veto and pass it anyways. However, the president has decided not to do either of those. He's just letting it sit on his desk. Now, the rule is that once it hits his desk, he has 10 days to do something. And after 10 days, if he doesn't do anything, the bill will go into law without his signature. It'll just pass into law. However, with the caveat that Congress must still be in session. Now, as you guys saw, on Christmas Eve, they still have a skeleton crew keeping things running through the holidays. But here's the kicker. Tomorrow is the last day before the government shuts down. If they don't have a government spending bill or they don't have another stopgap, they're going to be shutting down, and that's going to be the end for Congress. They will no longer be in session. And the 10 days is up on January 3rd. So basically, all the president has to do is nothing, and their bill will die. So right now, Congress is not happy at all, and they're trying to do something to get it done. And right now, Trump is just waiting to see if they're going to be responding to his demands. So That's currently the position that they're in. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article that breaks it down a little bit further. Now, this article came out today and it says, lawmakers urge Trump to sign stimulus funding package as government shutdown looms. And the first paragraph covers it right here. It says, if the president does not sign the bill before the start of the new Congress, it will expire on January 3rd, forcing lawmakers in the new Congress to negotiate another package. And it says, President-elect Joe Biden on Saturday also pressed Trump to immediately sign the pandemic relief bill, blasting what he deemed Trump's abdication of responsibility. The federal government is set to run out of funding at midnight on Tuesday, when a 7-day stopgap bill passed last week is set to expire. So those are the responses we've seen, and also the way forward with the stimulus package. Now you might be asking yourself, so why is the president doing this? Why is he basically holding hostage the stimulus package and the government spending bill? Well, this next part, disclaimer, is just my personal opinion. I might be right, I might be wrong. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you agree or not. But I felt like it was pretty apparent from his tweets, and I actually haven't seen this reported on any of the news media outlets, and that is that on Tuesday, when he dropped the bomb that he wasn't going to be signing and he wanted to see larger checks, then immediately after, we saw him post a 13-minute video on Twitter where he listed out all of his grievances with the elections and how he felt like he got cheated. Then yesterday, he posted out 2,000 plus 2,000 plus other family members, not 600. Remember, it was China's fault. Essentially doubling down and strengthening his position for larger stimulus checks. Now, I gotta ask you, who is he really hurting by doing this? Now, a couple hours before he posted that, he wrote, time for Republican senators to step up and fight for the presidency, like the Democrats would do if they actually had won. So the person this is hurting the most is going to be Republicans in the Senate, because Trump's saying, I want bigger checks. Democrats immediately came out and said, we want bigger checks. And Republicans have been pretty quiet because they're trying to stay fiscally responsible and keep the stimulus package under a $1 trillion price tag. Now, right now, the stimulus is about at $900 billion, and they can't increase checks without going over that price tag. And so right now they do not support it. And in the eyes of America, it makes it look like Republicans don't want to give people bigger stimulus checks. Now, this is going to hurt them in the view of Americans across the nation. And what's coming up right now, right around the corner? The Georgia Senate runoff elections for those last 2 seats. And this is very important because right now there are 50 seats held by Republicans and 48 held by Democrats. If Democrats get those last 2 seats, it's going to be a 50-50 split. And the tiebreaker is going to be determined by the vice president. And right now we have President-elect Joe Biden, meaning Kamala Harris will then determine that the Democrats will take control of the Senate. So why is Trump doing this? Why is he trying to hurt the Republicans in the Senate? Well, I feel like it's pretty evident from his tweets that right now he's trying to fight to overturn those election results, and he's looking to his party for support, and he feels like they've all pretty much abandoned him. And we actually saw Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell acknowledge President-elect Joe Biden. So I think Trump is saying, well, all right, fine. If you guys are not going to support me and I'm going to go, that's fine. But in a 50-50 split, as I go, you will lose your power in the Senate as well. But on the flip side, if I stay, the 50-50 will be determined by Mike Pence, and you can keep your power. So he's saying, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. So again, I might be wrong. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but I think it's all going to be looking towards Republicans in what they decide to do. If Republicans decide they're going to support the larger checks and they're going to break their stance on being fiscally responsible, then we might see larger checks and a stimulus package. But I also think that if Republicans decide that they're going to support Trump in his fight to overturn the elections, he might suddenly, amazingly change his mind and decide to sign into law the stimulus package and the government spending bill. And also, if they don't do anything, then Trump won't do anything, and he'll just let the government shut down, and the government will lose all of their funding. And it'll make the Republicans look very bad as the government shuts down, and also we don't have a stimulus package agreement for people at this time. So it's very unfortunate the fact that they're playing political games and this is going on and that there are so many hurting at this time. But to be honest, I feel like this is what's unfolding. I do feel like it's a strategy that is being played out right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Well, you guys, that is your $2,000 stimulus check and stimulus package update as of today, December the 27th. And once again, as more information rolls out, I will be sure to keep you guys up to date here on the channel. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, why don't you just go ahead and smash that like button? I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. And also, if you'd like to stay up to date on everything and you haven't already, and you're not a part of the viewing community yet, but you would like to be sure to smash the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. And be sure to follow me on Instagram as well at SteveRam3. Well, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.